Adrenalin Rush by Alex Lane. What do we mean by extreme? Why go climbing when you can go ice climbing? Why go running when you can go free running? Some people love the feeling they get from doing dangerous sports. Dangerous sports are often called extreme sports. They require a lot of skill in order to do them safely. Warning: all the sports mentioned in this book are extremely dangerous. Never try these sports at home. Never try these sports without proper supervision, proper training, or proper equipment. Why do people enjoy extreme sports? Extreme sports push people mentally as well as physically. They can be scary, but they can also be very exciting. When you are scared or excited, your body produces adrenaline. Adrenaline is a chemical. It can help your body to react quicker and cope with stressful situations. It can therefore help improve a person's performance when doing an extreme sport. Some effects of adrenaline are: your blood pressure rises, your pupils dilate, your heart beats faster, more blood flows to muscles and essential organs. The hairs on your skin can stand on end.
Question: what do they mean by extreme? Example answer. Here, the word extreme is used synonymously with very dangerous. Why do people enjoy extreme sports, according to the book? Example answer. When one is very scared or excited, one's body produces a chemical called adrenaline. This adrenaline makes you very excited and extremely happy. One can easily become addicted to doing them.
Ice climbing. Imagine being freezing cold and stuck to the side of an ice-covered cliff for hours on end as you try to climb to the top. Ice climbing is like rock climbing, but climbers climb frozen ice formations, glaciers, frozen waterfalls, and rock faces that are covered with snow and ice. Ice climbing is more dangerous than rock climbing. This is because ice constantly changes according to weather conditions. Ice is less predictable than rock. This climber is scaling a frozen waterfall. Equipment. Clothing. Warm clothing is essential as climbers are out in freezing conditions for long periods of time. Helmet. A helmet will help protect a climber's head if they fall or if something falls on them. Gloves. Climbers wear gloves or mittens to keep their hands warm. They don't grip the surface of the ice directly with their hands the way rock climbers do. Boots and crampons. Ice climbers need a good, strong pair of climbing boots, which give support round the ankles. Crampons are metal spikes attached to the bottom of boots. These help the climber to grip to the ice. The forward spikes can be kicked into the ice to gain footholds. Ice axe. An axe is used to grip the ice. Axes are made from metal and normally have a serrated edge. A cord on the handle is wrapped around the climber's wrist to ensure that the axe is not dropped by accident. Harness. This is used to attach a climber to their rope. It helps them climb up and abseil down. Rope. A rope is an essential piece of safety equipment. It is used to stop climbers falling all the way to the ground. Ice screws. These are screwed into the ice. Rope can be threaded through them for safety. Ice screws are strong and can hold a lot of weight. Safety and hazards. You need to be very fit to be able to ice climb, but good technique is just as important as being strong. Before a climber can start on ice, they must develop good overall climbing skills. These include basic climbing maneuvers, belaying, rope tying, lowering and abseiling, and safety and hazard evaluation. Climbing hazards. Ice climbers face many hazards, such as soft and melting ice, avalanches and falling ice, changing weather conditions, falling rocks, extreme cold, sharp tools that climbers carry. These two ice climbers are climbing the Koruoma Canyon in Posio, Finland. Fact box: avalanches. An avalanche is a mass of ice and snow that breaks away from a mountainside. It travels at great speed. Avalanches can happen quickly and are very dangerous. They are caused when the slope underneath the snow becomes unstable and can no longer support the weight of snow and ice on top. They can be caused by snowstorms, heavy snowfalls, explosions, and earth tremors.
Questions. Why is ice climbing more dangerous than rock climbing? Example answer. Ice climbing is more dangerous than rock climbing because ice changes its properties depending on conditions such as weather. Ice can easily melt or break. The weather also can be extremely cold. Ice can be wet, which might make the climber feel much colder. What equipment does an ice climber need? Example answer. Ice climbing equipment. Helmet, gloves, boots and crampons, ice axe, harness, rope, ice screw, etc.
Free diving. German diver Tom Zitas broke the record for holding his breath underwater in 2008. He managed to hold his breath for an incredible 10 minutes and 12 seconds. Free diving is a sport where divers descend underwater on a single breath of air. They do not use any breathing equipment. Every year, free diving competitions are held all around the world. Events and records. Static apnea. Description. Free divers stay underwater for as long as possible. It is always done under proper supervision. Male record holder. Name: Tom Zitas, Germany. Result: 10 minutes 12 seconds. Date: the 7th of June 2008. Female record holder. Name: Natalia Molchanova, Russia. Result: 8 minutes. Date: the 6th of July 2008. Constant weight. Description. Free divers dive down as far as possible. They follow a guideline which measures the depth of the dive. They are not allowed to touch the line. Male record holder. Name: Guillaume Nery, France. Result: 86 meters. Date: the 3rd of July 2008. Female record holder. Name: Natalia Molchanova, Russia. Result: 95 meters. Date: the 25th of July 2008. Dynamic apnea. Description. Free divers travel through the water horizontally as far as possible. Male record holder. Name: Alexei Molchanov, Russia. Result: 250 meters. Date: the 5th of October 2008. Female record holder. Name: Natalia Molchanova, Russia. Result: 214 meters. Date: the 5th of October 2008. Free immersion. Description. Free divers use a guideline to pull themselves down as far as possible and back up again. No fins are used. Male record holder. Name: William Trowbridge, New Zealand. Result: 108 metres. Date: the 11th of April 2008. Female record holder. Name: Natalia Molchanova, Russia. Result: 85 metres. Date: the 27th of July 2008. Variable weight. Description: free divers descend with the help of weights. They return to the surface by pulling themselves up along a line or by swimming. Male record holder. Name: Carlos Costa, Venezuela. Result: 140 metres. Date: the 9th of May 2008. Female record holder. Name: Tanya Streeter, USA. Result: 122 metres. Date: the 19th of July 2008. No limit. Description: free divers can use any means to dive down as far as possible and return to the surface as long as a guideline is used to measure the distance. Male record holder. Name: Herbert Nitsch, Austria. Result: 214 metres. Date: the 14th of June 2008. Female record holder. Name: Tanya Streeter, USA. Result: 160 metres. Date: the 17th of August 2008. Equipment. Fins. Help divers move easily through the water. They produce a wave of water that pushes the free diver forward. There are two types of fins: bifins, one fin on each foot, and monofins, one fin attached to both feet. Think of the tail of a dolphin. Wetsuit. Stops divers from getting cold. Lanyard, or leash. A piece of safety equipment. It is a length of cord that is attached to the free diver at one end, at the waist or wrist. The other end is fitted with a shackle to the guideline. Weights. Helps to stop divers floating and allows them to descend more easily. Mask. Helps divers to see underwater. What happens to your body? The deeper a free diver goes, the greater the water pressure is around them. This has several effects on the body. The pressure on the ears increases. The eardrum is pushed inwards. The heart rate slows. Blood is drawn away from external parts of the body, hands, feet, etc., to the vital organs, heart, brain, etc. More oxygen is sent to the lungs. Try this. Water pressure experiment. What you need: one bucket or bowl filled with water, one empty plastic drinking bottle with the lid on. What you need to do: slowly submerge, sink, the bottle into your bucket or bowl of water. As you push down, water pressure increases around it, and the pressure on the sides of the container is increased. Imagine that the bottle is your rib cage. This is like the pressure a free diver feels as they dive down. Try this. Ask an adult to look up Guillaume Nery or William Trowbridge on YouTube and watch how these two freedivers do it.
Fill in the blanks from 1 to 5 and explain something about each one. Example answer. Freediving equipment. 1. Monofins. Sometimes one uses bifins too. With them, they can swim much faster. 2. Diving wetsuit. Saves divers from getting cold for a long time. 3. Lanyard or leash. It is a length of cord that is attached to the freediver at one end, at the waist or wrist. The other end is fitted with a shackle to the guideline. 4. Weights. Help divers to descend underwater. 5. Mask. Helps to see underwater easily.
Base jumping. You may have heard of skydiving, jumping out of an aeroplane, but have you heard of base jumping? Base jumping is the sport of parachuting from fixed objects. Objects or jumping platforms include cliffs, roller coasters, buildings, cranes, and bridges. Anything that is tall enough and vertical enough to jump from. Jumps can be made from as low as 30 meters, but almost anything vertical and over 60 meters can be used as a jumping platform. Jumpers free fall for a set period of time before they open their parachutes. Fact box. BASE. BASE is an acronym. It stands for B. Building, any tall building. A. Antenna, pylons. S. Span, bridges. E. Earth, cliffs. These are the things that athletes jump from. Base jumper Simon Brentford jumps off a wind turbine at an organised event in Norfolk, UK. Interview with Max Hurd, base jumper. Max Hurd started skydiving in 1992. He moved on to base jumping 4 years later. Max has completed over 400 jumps around the world. How popular is base jumping? There are currently only about 1,000 people across the world who base jump. In the UK, there are about 50 people who do it regularly. There is a strong emphasis on safety. As equipment, knowledge and skills get better, it is gradually growing in popularity. Why do you do it? It is a very personal thing. To me, it is like an exploration. I do it because I want to expand my knowledge and I want to experience new things. I also get to use all my analytical skills. Where did you train? The route into base jumping is through skydiving. You have to do a minimum of 200 skydives in order to develop the necessary skills. Then you need training from other base jumpers. You need to know what to do when something goes wrong and how to deal with it safely. It needs to become instinctive. This is Max jumping off a cliff in Eastbourne, UK. What equipment do you need? You have one main parachute. You also have a pilot chute, which is a small round parachute which you can hold in your hand and throw into the air. This helps to deploy the main parachute. There is no reserve parachute like you have with skydiving. What do you wear? You usually wear your normal, comfortable clothes. Most people wear boots with ankle supports to help protect them when landing. People also wear helmets and knee pads. Have you ever hurt yourself? Just a badly bruised toe. I landed once, ran a couple of steps and kicked a rock. Safety is important. I have walked away from jumps before because they do not feel right. I also always take someone with me in case there are any accidents. Menara Tower in Malaysia. Jin Mao Tower in China. Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia. These are some of Max's bigger jumps. How do you prepare for a jump? Each jump is very carefully planned. You have to do a lot of preparation. You cannot work it out as you go. You have to take into account lots of different variables, such as your jump height and wind and weather conditions. You also have to think about how the parachute will work at a certain height and in a certain place. You need to know about how wind moves and swirls around an object. What could be perfect conditions for the object may not apply 30 minutes later. What was your favourite jump? I went to Mexico and jumped into a big hole in the ground. It is called Sótano de las Golondrinas, Cave of the Swallows. It's 304 meters deep. The landing area is tight and you are jumping into darkness. It is quite intimidating. What was your scariest jump? They are all scary. It's being able to control your fear that is part of the discipline. It's only dangerous if you are not prepared. There is no margin for error. Max jumping off a cliff in Switzerland.
Please explain about base jumping. Example answer. Base jumping is the sport of jumping with a parachute from fixed places, like a jumping board, buildings, bridges, etc. With base jumping, there is no room for error. You must plan with extreme care.
Kite surfing. Have you ever flown a kite? Imagine doing it while standing on a board in the sea. Kite surfing is one of the fastest growing extreme water sports in the world. Kite surfers stand on boards and use the wind to power large kites across open water. They can perform jumps and tricks if they fly the kite in a certain way. They can also go very fast, up to 50 knots. Fact box. Knots. The term knots comes from an old sailing method for telling the speed of a ship. A log would be thrown into the water with a length of knotted rope tied to it. This was left to trail behind the ship. The number of knots in the rope that were passed into the water in a given time would determine the speed in knots. Speed in knots, 1. Speed in nautical miles per hour, 1. Speed in miles per hour, 1.15. Speed in kilometers per hour, 1.85. Speed in knots, 10. Speed in nautical miles per hour, 10. Speed in miles per hour, 11.5. Speed in kilometers per hour, 18.5. Speed in knots, 50. Speed in nautical miles per hour, 50. Speed in miles per hour, 57.5. Speed in kilometers per hour, 92.6. Equipment. Compared to other water sports, you don't need a lot of equipment to kitesurf. This is one of the reasons why it is becoming so popular. Equipment should be checked regularly for signs of wear and tear. Kites. Most kitesurfing kites have a series of inflatable tubes. These grab the wind, much like the sail of a sailing ship. They are controlled with handles or bars. It is extremely important that a kitesurfer can fly and control their kite before they go out on the water. Helmets. Wearing helmets is strongly encouraged to prevent head injuries. Harness. The person in control of the kite is called the pilot. The kite is fastened to the pilot's waist by a harness. The kite is not attached to the board. Boards. Kiteboards can come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes. They look like snowboards or surfboards. Fact box. Kitesurfing hazards. Can you think why these hazards might be dangerous? Sudden changes in water conditions. Strong tides. Strong winds. High waves. Water temperature. Equipment failure. Human error. Hidden dangers, e.g. rocks, sandbanks. Dangerous animals, e.g. jellyfish. Riding styles. Freestyle. Kitesurfers show off their skills. They use the board and the kite to gain height and do big jumps, rotations and tricks. Speed. Kitesurfers use strong winds to go as fast as possible. Border cross. Kitesurfers have to get round a course, marked out by boys, and perform tricks. The winner is the pilot who crosses the finish line first. This is one of the most dangerous disciplines. It combines freestyle and speed. Wave riding. Kitesurfers ride waves like a surfboarder. Hang time. Kitesurfers do huge jumps and stay in the air for as long as possible. Kickers and sliders. Kitesurfers perform tricks using ramps and rails that are placed in the water. Free ride. Anything goes. Free ride is all about having fun. This kitesurfer is performing a freestyle move. A smooth landing is the key to a good move.
Please explain about the advantages of kitesurfing. Example answer. You can go kitesurfing in different places, like the ocean, large lakes, or some rivers. Kitesurfing depends on the wind. If the wind is strong, you might even fly.
Free running is an urban sport. Athletes jump, somersault, vault, roll, and run to get from one place to another. They use buildings, walls, steps, railings, and other structures as they run, jump, and perform stunts. Free running developed from another sport called parkour. Parkour uses similar moves, but it is about getting from A to B in the most efficient way possible. Free running is not about speed. Athletes can take their time. Both parkour and free running take lots of training, stamina, and courage to be able to do them properly. Johnny Last takes a massive leap onto a wall, Reading, UK. Interview with Johnny Last, free runner. Johnny Last is training to be an actor and stuntman. He has been free running for over 6 years. How did you get interested in free running? I struggled at school with reading because I am dyslexic, so I was looking for an outlet for my energy. When I was 14, I saw an advert on TV where a man was getting from work to his home. The man was David Bell, and he was doing parkour. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have a go. What type of training have you done? When I first started, I thought you could just jump off of things. I didn't realise the consequences then. If you do that, you will just get hurt. Your body has to be in top condition to free run. You have to be strong and fit. I have always done martial arts, karate, judo, kung fu, tai chi, and now capoeira. See page 31. I have done gymnastics and Pilates for inner core strength. I also teach breakdancing. I stretch every morning and every night. The first thing to do is to make sure you warm up properly. Do you have people that you train with? I have some really close friends who I train with. There are about 6 of us. We help each other. It's great because we all have completely different skills and strengths. It's really important to have people who you look up to as well. Someone at a much higher standard who you aspire to be like. Who are your role models? David Bell, the founder of parkour in France. Daniel Ilabaka, a Liverpool-born free runner. Chase Armitage, an actor and free runner. Cyril Raffaelli, an acrobat who got into parkour. Do you get scared? Yes, sometimes. I always assess the situation. If I'm really scared, I don't do it. I always check out a route before I try it. You have to know your area. If you don't know your area, you are going to hurt yourself. It's dangerous, for example, when it's wet and slippery. Having good technique is really important at times like this. You have to practice a lot before you attempt anything big. You have to start small. Learn techniques bit by bit. Where do you practice free running? I live in Oxford, so I practice all round the city. By free running, I can get to places other people can't. It's a great way to see a city. You get to really appreciate all the different buildings. Why do you do it? It is the most amazing feeling in the world. To get a new somersault that you've been practicing for ages feels great. When I find something I like doing, I stick to it and have to make myself the best I can be. It is about freedom. What mental and physical skills do you need to be a free runner? A positive mental attitude, a strong fit body, determination and confidence. Try this. Sebastian Foucan is another parkour founder. Look him up on the internet. BMX. Motocross is cross-country racing on motorbikes. BMX is a version of this using bicycles. BMX, therefore, stands for bicycle motocross. As well as racing, people can also do stunts and tricks on BMX bikes. This is called freestyle. BMX bikes are tough and light. The wheels are normally 51 or 61 centimetres in diameter. The wheels on a normal bike are 69 centimetres. Having smaller wheels on BMX bikes helps riders to accelerate fast and turn quickly. Handlebars, fork, spokes, pedal, chain, wheel, rim. BMX racing. BMX racing is fast and furious and very exciting to watch, as well as take part in. Up to 8 riders race round a track 300 to 400 metres long. They go over jumps and banked corners called berms. The rider has to be skilled enough to negotiate the obstacles whilst going as fast as possible. Races consist of a number of qualifying races, or motos. The rider who crosses the line first wins. Freestyle BMX. The term freestyle covers all other types of BMX riding. It involves performing tricks over ramps or obstacles. There are 5 types of freestyle. 1. Street. Riders perform tricks on and over obstacles in the street, on banks, walls, rails, gaps, etc. 2. Park. Riders compete in specially designed skate parks, which have obstacles in them such as banks and mini-ramps. 3. Flatland. Riders perform tricks on flat ground. Tricks are performed by spinning and balancing in a variety of body and bicycle positions. 4. Trails, dirt jumping. Riders carry out tricks over jumps built from dirt. Jumps have a steep takeoff mound and a less steep landing mound. 5. Vert. This involves doing tricks on a special U-shaped ramp. The sides of the ramp are steep, which makes it one of the most extreme and dangerous forms of BMX. Vert. Flat. Transition. Table. Hardcore sitting. Aaron Fotheringham is a wheelchair athlete. He has invented a new type of extreme sport called hardcore sitting. Aaron performs tricks and stunts in his wheelchair, similar to BMX riders and skateboarders. At the age of 14, he successfully performed the first ever backflip in a wheelchair. Aaron was born on the 8th of November 1991 in Las Vegas, USA. He has spina bifida, which is a birth defect. It affects the spine and central nervous system. He has been a wheelchair user since the age of 8. Aaron Fotheringham. Aaron performs a stunt in a skate park. Interview with Aaron Fotheringham, hardcore sitter. Did you come up with the name hardcore sitting? Yes. Hardcore sitting, HCS, is a term that I thought up for extreme wheelchairing in skate parks. How and when did you start hardcore sitting? My older brother, Brian, used to BMX, and so he inspired me to start riding in skate parks. That was back in 2000. How does it make you feel? It makes me feel like I'm alive and not just playing video games. What do you find hardest? Coming up with new tricks is the hardest thing I've found. And then after you come up with the trick, then you actually have to land it. How much time do you spend practicing during each session? It depends on the weather, but it can range from 2 to 8 hours. What is your favorite trick? The hand plant. This is where you go up the quarter pipe, a curved sloped ramp, and stall, balance on one hand. See picture above. How did you feel when you did your first record-breaking backflip? I was speechless. It was amazing. After all my hard work, I got my reward. Are there any tricks that you haven't been able to do yet? It's not that I'm not able. It's just that I can't find a big enough ramp to be able to do them on. Where would you like to see hardcore sitting go in the future? I want to see it as a category in X Games. X Games is an extreme sports competition that is held every year in summer and winter. Caving. Caving is a great activity for those who don't mind small spaces, the dark, or spiders. Exploring a cave can be challenging and exciting. Cavers go to places that no one has ever been before. But it is also important that they are properly prepared. Here are some essentials that every caver needs. Lighting. Caves are dark. Cavers use torches fixed to their helmets to leave their hands free. Helmet. A hard hat is essential when going underground. It protects a caver's head from bumps and from falling rocks. Warm clothes. Wearing lots of layers helps protect the body from cold. Waterproof jacket and trousers. These help to keep cavers dry and warm and protect their skin from getting scratched and cut by sharp rocks. Knee pads. Help to protect a caver's knees when crawling along. Boots. Thick rubber or leather boots are best to keep a caver's feet dry and warm. Food and water. Cavers need to keep their energy levels up to stop them getting weak or dehydrated. Caving hazards. Hypothermia. Caves can be cold and wet. If a caver's body loses too much heat, then they get very ill. Wearing the right kind of clothing is essential. Falls. Unfortunately, accidents do happen. This is why it is important never to go caving alone. Even experienced cavers should go caving with at least 2 other people. In an emergency, one person should stay with the injured person and the other can go for help. Getting lost. It is possible to become disorientated in a cave, so it is important for cavers to look around often to get their bearings. Getting stuck. Caves often have tight spaces, and it is possible to get stuck, although this does not happen often. Falling objects. Proper caves, as opposed to man-made tunnels, mines, etc., are generally very stable. However, there may be boulders, rocks, or rubble that can come loose. A hard hat is essential. Flooding. Some caves can flood. It is important to get expert advice before going into a new cave. 2 cavers exploring Rat's Nest Cave, Alberta, Canada. 10 top caves. Llanargoch, Wales. Bruce's Cave, Scotland. Gouffre Berger, France. Hurlock Caverns, Switzerland. Sarawak Chamber, Malaysia. Waitomo Caves, New Zealand. The Adrenalin Caves, Australia. Echo Caves, South Africa. Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. Ape Cave, Washington. Fact box. Types of caves. Solution caves are formed very slowly by water which dissolves the rock. Talus caves are formed between rocks that have fallen into piles. Fracture caves are formed between layers of rock. Glacier caves are found in ice and under glaciers. Lava caves are found near volcanoes, which have been formed by flowing lava. Sea caves are found along coastlines and are mostly formed by the wave action of the sea. A solution cave. Martial arts. Martial arts are skills that you learn to help your body to become fit, supple, and strong. They help teach you mental skills such as discipline, respect, and self-control. Someone trained in martial arts can use their skills to defend themselves. Different martial arts have different dress codes, but students must always be clean and tidy. All training suits are designed to be strong, comfortable, and to allow lots of movement. They will often be tied with a belt. Most martial arts are practiced in a special training centre. Mats will be laid out to provide a soft landing when students are thrown to the ground. Martial arts techniques should never be practiced outside a class. Grades and belts. The colour of the belt shows how advanced a student is. Generally, the grades are as follows. Beginner to advanced. White, yellow, orange, green, blue, purple, brown, black. A martial artist throws his opponent who uses a breakfall to stop himself getting hurt. Aikido is a Japanese martial art. By blending various moves, throws, and locks, the martial artist uses the energy and motion of the attacker and turns it back on them. Capoeira is a martial art that was started in Brazil by African slaves. It combines dance, music, and acrobatics with fighting moves. It is very graceful, flowing, and a powerful martial art. Two capoeira students practicing. Karate is a Japanese martial art. In general, it relies on practicing repeated moves, punches, kicks, knee and elbow strikes, and open hand techniques. Kung Fu describes most Chinese martial arts. There are two major types. Southern styles use techniques of strength and power, and northern styles use fluid, fast, and open movements. Judo. Judo is a Japanese martial art and combative sport. It involves throwing techniques and grappling on the ground with pins, locks, and chokes. Ninjutsu combines physical, mental, and spiritual skills. It was originally used in the training of spies. There are 18 different levels of training, including spying skills, horsemanship, armed and unarmed combat, disguise, escape and concealment techniques. Taekwondo. Taekwondo is a Korean martial art that uses fist and feet techniques, kicks, jumps, spins, hand strikes, and blocks. Glossary. Abseil. To go straight down a vertical surface using ropes to stop yourself falling. Accelerate. To move more quickly. Analytical. To use mental skills that require detailed examination or logic. Belaying. A way of controlling rope so that a climber does not fall very far. Dehydrated. To lose a large amount of water. Deploy. To bring into action. Descend. To go down. Dilate. To make wider or larger. Disorientate. To lose your sense of direction. Free fall. To fall quickly. Horizontal. Flat and level, the opposite of vertical. Maneuvers. A series of physical movements requiring skill and care. Predictable. To be able to state that something will happen in the future. Serrated. Having a jagged edge. Shackle, a metal link. Stamina, to keep going mentally or physically. Urban, about a town or city.
Well done. Thank you.